Here. All right. Hello, friends. This is Deepak, and I'm here with Sanjeev ji. Obviously, not in his office anymore. We are remotely connected through courtesy of Zoom. So, Sanjeev ji, we are in the middle of December now, and roughly maybe 2, 3 weeks left for the end of the year. We do have a webinar coming up where you are going to talk a whole lot about how to minimize taxes for this year and how to better plan for next year, because obviously next year there are going to be a lot of changes. So before we can talk about some of the other things that is happening in the market right now, such as there are IPOs that is happening, there are PPP loan forgiveness that is going on right now. We are expecting a new stimulus to come out pretty soon. So before we get into all of those topics, let's talk about this webinar that is coming up in a couple of weeks here.
Yes, so this webinar will be a very unique webinar. Like we have this unusual circumstances of COVID-19. So unusual things demand unusual planning. So people are working in from their home states, but they're working from for a lot of employers outside their state. So issues come up with respect to the taxability of where they will be paying taxes, whether their home state and or for the working for or where their employer are based in those state. What will happen in the case of primary home residences? For example, they have bought homes in their working state versus they are now staying at their home, which is not a primary home but was like a secondary home for them. So what will happen in that scenario? What about the mortgage deductions on that homes? What about the things relating to property taxes, payments, other things? So that's a part which is very critical for a lot of people because of COVID. Unique for this COVID scenario. Also, people receiving unemployment benefit, people not getting the rebate check for $1,200 stimulus payments. What are the process for that? Those things. Estimated tax payments. How to do estimated tax payment for people who have made money on stock market, real estate. With business owners having PPP loans, how to do estimated taxes when IRS is saying that they will not allow double dipping expenses, and there will be a lot of penalty interest if you don't do the estimate taxes. How to calculate those things? On top of it, you're going to get a K1s if you are a business owner with investment different areas, or you're individual tax filers with investment different businesses. You're going to get K1s from different states where the business is located. How are you going to include all those K1s with losses from all losses from their business? How to use the CARES Act benefit with respect to net operating losses from those businesses, and like in the CARES Act, you can use the net operating losses and carry back 5 years, 2018, 19, 20. So how to use that? What form to be used? Then charitable deductions part for individual tax filers, how to use that new provision relating to charitable deductions. People invested money in virtual currency, like we know Bitcoin is going up $19,000 at this time. So if you are investing in those virtual currency, there's a new line on the new 1040 form. What will be the tax implications relating to virtual currency? And then foreign income reporting, which is a very important topic. A lot of people have investments in India, and I got a lot of consultation right now for sale of properties. People are want to sell their properties because they are not able to go to India and want to bring the money here, and they are not sure how the COVID will play in both the countries. So this is a gamut of planning for topics for individual tax filers, as well as family planning for the family, like 529 plans for the kids, retirement planning will be included in that. And for business owners, I can tell you this is one of the unique opportunity again for them to go and register for this, because we are going to share areas where they can make their income negative by using the most important topics like 179, retirement, QBI deductions. So this can be the last year for the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act to take for business owners to take advantage of that, because next year Biden is coming up. Biden is going to be elected president, and then what they will change everything. They are very conservative approach for towards businesses. So this is maybe the last year for taking those QBI deductions and how to take those advantage for those areas. And foreign income reporting for business owners also is becoming critical. Guilty tax and FDI. So there's a whole bunch of topic that we are going to discuss in this year. And why we choose December 19th? Uh, we are waiting for this December, this 11th date for Congress to fund that government to fund the government. Otherwise, it will be shut down. So they might do a small 1 week extension, but we're looking at another stimulus that may come. Maybe 1 trillion or 2 trillion. We don't know. Maybe before December 19, we get to know more about it. So December 19, I think, is a perfect date for people to register for this webinar, get the details for all the things they can do before the year end runs out. 11 days, 12 days is enough for doing all those planning. So please join us this webinar. You can register online at sanjivcpa.com, and it's one of the unique event that is going to happen for this year.
Yeah, and this year is kind of also very unique because we did not really have an opportunity to do our year-end seminar. So a lot of people who used to get a lot of this information during that seminar, they were not able to join in. So hopefully all of those people can also join in as well. And then obviously next year, hopefully life goes back to normal and things start to open up. So Sanjeevji, besides from the year-end planning, what are some of the things people should consider doing now? Obviously, there are common things such as investing in their 401k plan. Other than that, what else do you recommend? Like maybe 2 or 3 things that people should do to close out this year great, basically.
So if you're talking from the business point of view, definitely they have to look at the like 401k plans for the businesses, buying equipments for their businesses, furniture, looking at running payroll for the kids, looking at setting up the what do you call medical insurance plan for their businesses. So they can do a lot of things before the year runs out. And they can look at planning the income levels, how to plan, how much to show income, how much to show expenses for the year end. So those are the few things that can be done from business point of view. Now, from individual tax point of view, individual filers, definitely they can look at options of how, like, let's say they are making a lot of income on the stock market. There's long-term capital gains. They can look at paying the estimated taxes. Like I said earlier, estimate taxes is very critical this year because IRS will be penalizing you, and the state will also be penalizing you because so much trillions of dollars have been printed by the government, and they want to recover somewhere, some in terms of non-compliance of tax payments. So estimate tax definitely will be an important area for them to plan the estimate taxes. Then they can look at opening the Roth IRAs plans. If they're investing heavily in market, they can do the backdoor Roth conversion. So to do that, they can open a traditional IRA after tax. Uh, they can do it now, and they can in April 15 when they do their tax returns for 2020, they can file the form 89, the non-deductible IRA form, and they can have their meter running for 5 years. So that's non-deductible IRA definitely is one of the areas they can look into it. And then from the point of view of like charitable deduction, which I just said, they can contribute more towards charity, like their donor advised funds, so they can do all those things. And if you're making a lot of short-term gains, maybe a strategy like conservative easement can help them. Uh, we have been helping clients for several years on this strategy, conservative easement. It lowers your taxes by 30 to 40%. So that's another strategy that people can look into.
So now, Sanjeevji, I know conservative easements you typically use for clients who have higher income. Is there still time? I mean, this is December 8th. What is sort of like a deadline so those people who want to take advantage of that, there's still enough time to do that right now?
Yes, by a week, I will say latest by next Friday, December 15th, they can enter into that conservative easement deals. And again, those deals are available maybe only for this year. Maybe next year, President-elect Biden will come back and negotiate those deals. We don't know.
So once again, those of you guys who don't know what Sanjeevji is talking about, it's a special way of reducing your taxable income. I won't go too much detail into it because that's a webinar on its own, but you can set up a consultation appointment with Sanjeevji and he can connect you with a consultant who can help you set all that up. And if you are a high income earner and you want to reduce your taxable income, this could be a great strategy. So without getting into detail, just give office a call at 510-825-7563 and set up an appointment with Sanjeevji, and he'll be happy to get all of those answers for you. But once again, I typically know because we do this every single year. And normally by first or second week of December is typically the deadline to get this thing done. So the webinar obviously will be happening on 19th. So by that time, it will be cutting to close. So if you're watching this video and you are a high income earner and you would like to reduce your taxes, then please don't wait. Call the office now. Set up that appointment. Now, Sanjeev, you are in office this week, right? You are taking appointments this
Yeah,
week?
we are working in the office. Of course, we are not allowing clients, and we are also having shifts for my employees to meet the requirements of the city. But again, yeah, we are available on Zoom. So they can do a consultation setup. We are taking new clients. Like for conservative easement, if you want to do it, like I said, the week only 1 week is remaining. So if you have made a lot of income in short-term gains or real estate, definitely this is a way. This is a strategy to be used.
Yeah, and I think when Sanjeev keeps saying short-term gains, I think he keeps thinking about Tesla, Tesla, Tesla. A lot of people who just made
Not
tons
not
of money in
not
Tesla,
only
right?
in Tesla, other stocks, any stocks, you name it, all the
But
stocks are
Tesla
going
seems
up.
to be the stock of the year. I think everybody talked about that,
$600 billion, man. Capital.
right? It proved everybody wrong, everybody wrong. So anyhow, talking about stocks, obviously we have a couple of big IPOs coming up. We have Uber, I'm not sorry, Uber, Airbnb IPO
And
coming up. We have
DoorDash.
DoorDash. So all these gig economy businesses are starting to go public. So that's going to happen, I think, in just a matter of next couple of days here. So I'm sure a lot of those employees who are vested in that company will start selling those stocks to take some of their money out, which can only mean one thing. That means Bay Area going to get even more expensive than what it already is, because some folks will have a lot of money to invest in other things, right, Sanjeev?
Yeah, both are California companies, so definitely, yeah.
Right. So that is going to happen pretty soon. We'll have more information once these companies start disclosing their financials, so we can talk a little bit more about that. And the last part of the puzzle that is also happening right now is obviously PPP loans. People have started to apply for forgiveness. So I think last time you said that, hey, anybody who is less than 50,000 in loans, it's a good idea to go ahead and apply for that forgiveness at this point. And the rest of the people, you were still asking them to wait a little bit longer. Is that still your opinion, or is that changed a little
No,
bit?
now the opinion has changed. Now we have to look at if you get a PPP loan, whether it's 50,000 or 100,000 or 1 million or 2 million or 3 million, please go ahead and apply on the portal of the lender who has given that PPP loan, not to SBA. Please don't apply to SBA. You have to wait for your lender to open that portal. Once the portal is open, to upload your documents, to upload your application, please go ahead and apply as soon as possible. Reason for that is the change is because the second PPP loan will be in line. So you want to at least get this done. Uh, not from the point of view of getting a decision from SBA. SBA, from the time you apply for forgiveness, lender will take another 2 months to evaluate the application and then submit to the SBA. SBA will take another 90 days to look into it and give their decision. So you're looking at this 3 to 5 months of time from the date you apply. So the forgiveness will not be coming so immediately. That's why you need to apply for forgiveness as soon as possible. One reason for that is also is year end is coming, and then your tax return will be due by March 15. As of now, there's no extension. People are thinking, oh, March 15 will be extended. IRS has not said that. In fact, I was reading the irs.gov today news, and they said there's no such thing as extension. They're going with whatever the deadline, regular deadline of March 15, April 15. So definitely, if you have a PPP loan, apply for forgiveness. Look at your how to compute your FTE and other areas of calculations. If you don't know, they can always ask our help, and definitely we can help them file that application and support and give the advice. But we that will be also part of the webinar, how to get the maximum forgiveness by using the some tricks here and there which we know.
Yeah. So once again, I want to clarify that a little bit. What Sanjeev ji is saying is, when you actually start filing for these forgiveness, you will figure out there are some formulas involved to calculate how much amount can be possibly
Right.
forgiven. And if you don't do the calculations properly, you might find out, let's just say if you took a loan for $100,000, that your forgivable amount might be 60,000, for example. But
Right.
there are ways to do proper calculations, providing you do have proper documentation, that you can
Yes.
get 100% of that loan forgivable. So so it goes both ways. If you apply, if you enter a wrong amount, then they can come back to you and ask you for the money back. The worst is, if you underestimate that number, then you're not getting the proper loan amount forgiven. Am I
Yeah,
correct, Sanjeev?
yes,
That's still
because
what the.
because the owner's salaries are regulated. Non-owner salaries are not regulated, but there are limitation on the amount they can take out on salary for 8 weeks versus 24 weeks. Which period one should use? Uh, what expenses they can use? There are other expenses like rent expense, interest expense, utility expense, how those are can be used. So if there is no double dipping allowed by IRS, let's say they don't allow, but I don't think they will not allow. The Congress will do something, but let's say they don't allow this double dipping. Then more importantly, you have to get focused. I don't want to lower my salaries cost for tax purposes, but I can use my other expenses for forgiveness purposes. So how to maximize those areas? That's what I was talking about, the tricks. So looking at different aspects, looking at different week period, the whole goal is to maximize the forgiveness. At the same time, maximize your deductions for the uh, the uh, the tax filings for 2020, because you have to look at both sides. You're not looking at one side. So this webinar, this calculation will definitely help the people how to do the maximum calculation for both sides. So that's why I'm saying whenever you calculate for forgiveness, you have there are certain ways we look at those things. Like I said, about other expense, other things. So definitely, if you have all those things and you want us to take a look at it, we can definitely help you out.
So yeah, I would strongly recommend, especially if you have a large PPP loan. It's a great idea to have a CPA look at it so they can make sense of all the numbers. I wouldn't recommend doing it by yourself. If you have a smaller business, let's say you took less than 50,000, maybe go ahead and file it on your own because it's not that complex. But anybody else,
Yeah,
strongly
if you have high
recommend.
payroll, if you have high payroll, and you use the money 100% for payroll, I don't think you need anyone. You can do it yourself.
Yeah,
Uh,
if that's the only expense you have. And like Sanjeev just said, the other part of it is that there will be the new stimulus package coming in. We still don't really know the details yet, but there might be some goodies out there because we do know businesses are still struggling. As we know that at least here in California, everything is closed off for the time being. So obviously somebody has to pay the rent, somebody has to pay the payroll, somebody got to pay the utilities. So all those expenses haven't stopped, but income for almost everyone has stopped. Um, uh, any news on unemployment, Sanjeev? Would there be some help coming in?
yes, that's the major thing. We are waiting for the stimulus to provide some unemployment benefit. Unemployment benefit is going to run out very soon for federal and state. Uh, the rent eviction also, the forbearances on rent eviction, rent payments also is going to runs like out of very soon. So if Congress does not act very soon, that will be a problem for a lot of people who are unemployed and a lot of people who are not able to pay rent, and the landlord who are owning the properties. So mortgage forbearances also not don't know what will happen there. So it's very tough time, not only for the virus, for people uh, to be careful about virus, but also for financial situation also. It's very delicate balancing the counties, the state, the Congress has to do between livelihood and living benefit, living for that person. So it's very difficult and delicate balances. I don't know how this is going to work out, but Congress has to do their part. They have to come out, forget about the differences, provide that benefit which is needed for those people to stay at home and do their work safely.
So there you go, friends. That's all I had for today. Well, obviously, we will talk a lot more to Sanjeev ji on the webinar this year. So there will be a lot of Q&A. As always, at the end of the webinar, I open it up for Q&As. You're welcome to ask as many questions as you want to Sanjeev ji. He usually sticks around for at least half an hour to answer all of those for you. But most of them are already answered during the webinar anyway. So he will be available. Its webinar is free. There's no charge to you. There's no cost, but registration is required. Just head over to sanjeevcpa.com. And right there, go ahead and register for the webinar. Once you register, you'll get a Zoom link, save that link, and join us on December 19th. Hopefully, we should have more news about the stimulus before then, so we can update you and let you know what all the goodies are in there for you. In the meanwhile, stay safe. Things are starting to get really, really bad, so we got to all do our part in helping the community by staying safe and staying at home as much as possible. So thank you so much, Sanjeev ji, for taking my call today, and we'll look forward to speaking to you next week.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Bye bye.